You won't believe what happened when a powerful CEO walked into his ex's engagement party with a fake towel because she wasn't just there to play a role. She stole the spotlight, changed his life, and left everyone whispering her name. Stick with me until the end, because the twist might just change the way you see love, pride, and second chances. Adrian Hayes was the kind of man whose presence filled a room without a single word spoken. At only 34, he had built his empire from the ground up, a tech CEO whose name ran through Wall Street like fire. But tonight, none of his business victories mattered. The engraved invitation sat heavy in his hand as his ex, Clara, the woman who once promised him forever, was getting engaged to a man Adrian once called his friend. It wasn't just an engagement, it was a public display, a stage where Claire would prove she had moved up. Adrian wasn't about to let the world or Clara think he was left behind, broken, and alone. But there was one problem. He had no one to take. That's when Harper Lee entered the story. She was no model, no socialite groomed for charity galas. She was his assistant's childhood friend. A woman with fire in her eyes and a stubborn independence that made her stand out in a city full of people desperate to fit in. She worked in event planning, knew how to dress the part, and more importantly, wasn't intimidated by powerful men or polished social circles. Adrian's assistant, desperate to help her boss save face, suggested Harper as the fake date. Reluctant at first, Adrian agreed. The night of the party, Harper walked in on his arm wearing a simple black gown that looked as though it had been stitched for royalty. She didn't just walk as she owned the floor. Conversations paused mid-sentence, eyes followed, and Clara's smile faltered the moment she saw them. What was supposed to be a strategic move, a silent message that Adrian was doing just fine, turned into something else entirely. Harper wasn't playing a role, she was herself, a bold, witty, unapologetic, and the room responded. Throughout the evening, Adrian watched as Harper captivated people with genuine charm. She laughed easily, listened deeply, and handled subtle jabs from Clara's circle with grace that left them embarrassed rather than victorious. Adrian, who had always kept his world tightly controlled, found himself loosening, even smiling in ways he hadn't since before Clara left him. He realized he wasn't shielding himself with Harper. She was shining so brightly that the shadows of his past couldn't reach him. But the night wasn't without challenges. Clara, visibly irritated, tried to corner Adrian. She whispered sharp words about how Harper wasn't his type and implied she was only a distraction. Adrian, who once would have bitten his tongue, found the courage to say something he had never said out loud. "You're right, she isn't my type. She's better because she's real." That moment, in front of witnesses, wasn't just a defense of Harper, it was Adrian finally cutting ties with Clara's hold on him. Still, Harper had her own doubts. Later that night, away from the music and glittering lights, she admitted to Adrian, "I don't belong in your world. Tonight, I was just pretending." But Adrian shook his head, realizing something monumental. "Tonight was the first time I stopped pretending. You showed me that." The party ended with more than just stolen glances and whispered admiration. Clara's engagement might have been the official event, but the story everyone took home was different. The mysterious woman on Adrian Hayes' arm who stole the spotlight, the one who made the untouchable CEO look at her like she was the only person in the world. Over the weeks that followed, what began as a contract arrangement turned into late-night conversations, unguarded laughter, and moments that Adrian once believed were impossible for him after heartbreak. Harper challenged him, softened him, and taught him that vulnerability wasn't weakness, it was power. By the time another invitation arrived months later, a charity gala, this time Adrian didn't need a fake date. He had Harper, and this time, when they walked in together, it wasn't about proving anything to anyone else. It was about celebrating a love built not on appearances, but on truth. The message was clear, and it left the viewers with a powerful thought. Sometimes the person you take into a room to protect your pride ends up being the person who teaches you how to live again. Love isn't about winning over the past, it's about daring to embrace the future, even when it looks nothing like what you planned.